Today we're watching He Had Another Meltdown While Live.
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing.
Hold on, let me check. Skin could be a little clearer. Teeth are white. No, I'm pretty happy.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right, well.
What do you get when you cross a secure-pilled interview maxer with a self-hatred-pilled looks-maxing
Interview
interviewee?
maxer.
You get the worst sentence I've ever had to say. I don't even want to make this video anymore. That's right, you can go ahead and thank me. We are once again talking about our favorite looks maxer, Clvicular. Now, I made a video on Clvicular about a week ago, and
I think Clvicular is the only looks maxer I genuinely know about. I don't think there's anybody else on his level that I actually know.
And I proposed a thesis that basically he was like willing to be the internet's jester maxing, if you will, in order to make himself famous. I was talking about how like every clip that he has that goes viral is a clip that pretty much just makes him look bad. And the thing you're laughing at, the thing that's funny in the clip, is whatever Clvicular is doing. And what sort of led me there was a clip of his that went viral where he cries over the fact that a McDonald's burger that he ordered had cheese on it. However, some new evidence has surfaced, and I've also just been given this some more thought because I keep seeing clips of this guy everywhere. Whoever is managing this guy is doing a hell of a job, and I might want to walk back my original thesis at least.
Yeah, whoever Clvicular's manager is, yo, you're a motherfucking one, boy. I have seen the non-stop clips of this nigga.
Just a little bit. And that's for multiple reasons that we're going to talk about during this video. But basically, recently Clvicular sat down to do an interview with the YouTube channel Channel 5 News. And by the end of this interview, Clvicular is visibly upset with how this interview has gone, and he ends up basically walking out of it, which I'm not sure if that's like really a fair term to use because the interview seemed to be pretty much over, but he did walk out before the interview was fully concluded, and this seemed to have stemmed from the fact that Clvicular thought that the interviewer didn't ask many questions about looks maxing, and also that the interviewer said that he is okay with the way he looks. Clvicular gets visibly upset and accuses this guy of lying because he says that he's happy with his appearance. No, I'm not joking. This guy actually gets angry that a person dare say that they do not want to change the way they look. It's pretty awkward and it's also pretty lame, so you know, perfect thing for us to talk about. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin.
Please subscribe.
Trying to think what else I should ask about, because it's tough because I don't want to put you in any boxes.
Please subscribe.
But I'm sure there's people that probably want to know about various controversies. But if you don't want to talk about it, that's cool.
I mean, more so like to talk about like looks maxing in my interviews. And it's like kind of annoying because no interviewer has actually like come up with a question ever that's been more than what would be the #1 piece of advice you would recommend people to looks max. I've genuinely never had a single person ask me specifics about this certain like...
Yo, camera lighting do be doing niggas justice. Angles, all that shit really matter for real.
You know, looks maxing method really outside of like bone smashing, or you know, how do these two things interact, or you know, how does looks maxing differ from this age to this age? Is it still possible to looks max? Like, there's no effort.
Oh, Clvicular, you were so close to your come to Jesus moment. This is because nobody actually cares about this shit. I mean, that's the truth. Nobody but people who are already deeply invested into this kind of stuff care about looks maxing because we can see it for what it is. It's bullshit. These interviews are only happening because you're so popular right now and it's easy publicity, it's easy views. People aren't actually interested in like learning how to looks max through these interviews. One, because most people can't take this stuff seriously, and two, it's really not hard to figure out what's going on from watching like 1 or 2 TikToks. There are 3 different categories that basically every single quote looks maxing technique falls into. And it's nothing new. Like all these looks maxing guys think they're reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, no, drugs and bone smashing are the only 2 looks maxing techniques that I actually know about.
Well, you're not. It's natural shit like getting lean or going through puberty. It's pseudoscience stuff like bone smashing, or it's pharmacological enhancements like abusing steroids or peptides. You guys were not the first people to do any of this stuff.
Seems to be a lot of like gotcha mode, like clip farm. And
I'm
it's
not
like,
doing that.
Well, I mean, yeah, you are a little bit to a degree.
I don't think so. I think when you see the full presentation, it's not really going to be edited or clipped in the same way that you might.
Well, just because it's not the worst interview I've had. I mean, like you had like a couple of ones that you were trying to sneak in with like, oh, what is slut hate? And it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's the second, you know, letter in the.
But I mean, like you know what you're intentionally trying to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because like why that's a part of why it's a pretty strongly worded forum and subculture.
Yeah, and that would be fine if that question was in there because it's, you know, decently relevant to the culture, but there was not even a single genuine attempt at like a specific LooksMax question.
Okay, so stuff like this is why I'm beginning to believe that maybe I was giving him too much credit when I was like, he's doing all this on purpose. He seems genuinely kind of like annoyed. He seems a little bit upset that this is going the way it is, and I mean, the shit he's saying doesn't even really make sense. I mean, he admits that this question is relevant to his community, and then he's like, but you didn't ask any LooksMaxing questions. It's like, just because the questions aren't what you wanted to be asked doesn't mean that they're not about LooksMaxing. I mean, what?
Yeah, I thought like interviewers come with their own questions because they have like an audience that are more curious about what's going on in a different community or niche, and then, you know, they come to you and ask you questions. I don't think you really get to pick and, I mean, you can pick and choose what questions you want to answer. Nobody's holding a gun to your head saying you got to answer them, but, you know, they come with their own questions.
You expecting guys like Piers Morgan to say my hyroid is reminiscent of an LTN, so my Cook Max? Like, no, they're gonna be like, why do you guys all hate women?
Well, I'm not in the LooksMaxing community. I'm trying to learn about it. Not everyone talking to you is going to be a niche person who knows about all the methods.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I know you're not in the LooksMaxing community, but you didn't even ask a LooksMaxing question, like at all. You don't need to be in the LooksMaxing community to ask a LooksMaxing question.
What do you mean by looks? I think we've been talking about LooksMaxing this whole time.
We've been talking about like the philosophy behind it, and it's.
You want me to ask you a scientific question about LooksMaxing?
I just think it's kind of funny how that's really never been done with the amount of like media appearances.
So again, it's like he's so close to understand, just not clicking. Like, it seems real easy to understand that most people are not into the LooksMaxing shit because either one, they're happy with the way they look, or two, even if they're not willing to do the harmful shit that LooksMaxing promotes. And if you understand that, it makes a whole lot of sense as to why most people are a lot more interested in like the philosophy side of things, because this kind of stuff seems to be spreading, and that's not good. Telling anybody really, but especially teenagers, to get on peptides or HGH or run a cycle is not a good thing, believe it or not.
Well, maybe people don't know you want to be asked that.
Well,
now they will.
Well, that's quite literally what a lot of your companies, your
what do you mean your companies? You think I work for like Time Warner or something?
Your press companies. You work for Channel 5.
It's a YouTube channel called Channel 5.
I'm not sure.
I'm the CEO of my own company. I don't have any agenda.
Okay, holy semantics, dude. Like,
it's a pretty big difference between working for an affiliate news station like Channel 5, the TV company.
Well, way to diminish your channel, but once again, semantics.
Dude is literally just explaining the difference between like what he does and what CNN does, and he's saying holy semantics and way to diminish your channel. Seems like he didn't even know what kind of interview he was walking into, and now he's gonna get mad at the dude for correcting him. It's like, it's not semantics, there is a genuine difference, dude.
So the fact of the matter is, like, you guys specifically reach out, we want to interview him about LooksMaxing, and then you'll start asking like political questions, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't mind it, you know what I mean? I'm not really like afraid or whatever to answer anything. You know, gone through every single question of yours besides the one about my security, which is a little bit weird, but yeah, not a single attempt at anything in regards to LooksMax.
Okay, so it's real easy to just be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but honestly, like, I watched a lot of this interview just so I knew what I was getting myself into, and I really don't understand what his complaint here is. The entire interview is about LooksMaxing. My best guess is the frustration is coming from the fact that most of the interview focuses on more of the negative aspects, or like the outwardly negative aspects of LooksMaxing, like obviously the politics and the philosophy of it, but also the methods that are looked at especially negatively, like hormone abuse or using peptides. So I guess what he really wants to say is, why aren't you talking about more of the positive stuff, like taking care of your skin, going to the gym, eating right, like things that can actually be positive for you in the long term? But he doesn't want to say that. Otherwise, I'm kind of lost, because the entire interview was talking about LooksMaxing and methods and shit that goes on in the community.
Quite literally, and I didn't watch the interview, but that is about LooksMaxing. He is talking to you about LooksMaxing, just not the thing that you particularly want to get into. And bro, you're kind of the face of this shit. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, I've learned about LooksMaxing from other niche little creators, but they were like one-off. Bro, you are the fucking spokesperson, the billboard, the advertisement.
Okay, what's the question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's like,
you're
what am
telling-
I going to tell you how to do your job?
You're telling
I
me
mean,
you want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different looks maxing methods,
well, I mean, just
and you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like that.
I mean, like, can you not identify like anything that you have a curiosity about? Like maybe, you know, you wake up with dark circles in your eyes one morning, and like, you know, even something like that. I mean, just like, even if you don't give a shit, I mean, like, it would be like, at least, you know, you put a little bit of effort into.
I think I've done a pretty good interview.
Okay, so here is where I think we start to get a peek behind the curtain, about a minute before the curtain is just completely pulled back. But I think some of the frustration is from what I was just talking about, how like most of what has been focused on has been kind of negative. But it seems like what's really setting Clvicular off here, and this is about to become pretty obvious here in a second, is that this guy has not just said, how do I improve? I think a lot of this stuff is rooted in insecurity, and Clvicular cannot understand how this guy is not asking him, how do I make myself look better?
From what, like, context? Because if it's from the context of what you guys reached out was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty job.
All right, well, I think people probably want to learn about you, and that was what I was trying to give you the opportunity to do.
Well, no, I know. I think that's totally fair, and that's I applaud you for that. But not one, you know, question about looks maxing.
There's been so many questions about looks maxing. I probably asked you about looks maxing like 40 times.
All right, so it's around this point when I was originally watching this where I was like, okay, maybe this guy is not playing a character. Maybe all the shit he's blasting really is getting to him, because at this point, even his chat was making fun of him. And when you're a kick streamer and your chat starts to turn on you, you've done something really fucking stupid. Like, his entire chat was like, what are you talking about, dude? He's asked so many questions. Like, I really do think that he was just so upset that the guy was not asking how to improve himself, that his brain translated that into he hasn't been asking any questions at all.
I just don't know the specifics.
Are you looking at his chat? He must have had his chat pulled up too, because I can't see shit.
Science. I'm not in the community.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about, like, you know, maybe something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah,
that
sure. Hair loss.
You see what I mean?
Telling
It's
me
like,
what to, you're trying
I'm
to get
telling
me
you
to,
what to ask. So when you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, more or less.
The lean back too. He said yes.
Well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine.
What?
I guess
Disingenuous? I'm disingenuous if I'm happy how I look. That's kind of crazy to me, but okay.
there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And this, to me, is where the true character, like what Clvicular is really feeling, is exposed. Like, obviously, the looks maxing shit has worked out for him socially and financially. Like, he's an internet celebrity, he's making tons of money, but I think this just really goes to show that if you find yourself in a headspace where you are driven to do the kind of things that Clvicular has done in order to make yourself feel like you look better, that you are never going to be happy with yourself no matter what you do to change your appearance. Your problem is not really with your appearance, it's something inside of you. This guy ended an interview because he could not believe that somebody just is okay with the way they look. He thinks that if you say something like that, you have to be being disingenuous because that's how he feels. Dude walks around knowing that he's not happy with the way he looks even after everything he's done, and he's convinced himself that everybody around him feels the exact same way. You don't behave like this otherwise. And really, I mean, it's kind of sad. It just goes to show that if you aren't happy with yourself as just like a being, as a thing that exists, nothing's gonna change that. No amount of attention, no amount of money, no amount of looking a certain way. Happiness comes from within, and shit like this is a case study as to just how true that is. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, if you...
Nah, facts. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Like up, sub up, and I'll catch you on the next one. Grit your teeth and chase your dreams.